Hey you, welcome back to the library. There comes a time when a game surprises you, not so much in its quality, but because of how it reveals everything that has been lost to time and the almighty profit margin. NASCAR Rumble's existence is equal parts Mario Kart, Burnout Revenge, and speedrunning all melted together with the NASCAR license and driver name sprinkled on it. It is the least likely candidate to land on a top 25 game list of all time, but we'll get to that later in the video. Let's cover the obvious first, the graphics. NASCAR Rumble is a fantastic example of what the PlayStation can handle in the right hands. The cars are large and beautifully detailed, so much so that you can read the actual sponsorships on them. So detailed, in fact, that you can still read the working phone number for 1-800-B-PETTY on the back of Richard Petty's car. If used, you get the NASCAR Experience consumer line. The game boasts a beautiful amount of variety in the courses and tracks. Players will be taken from the bayous of Mardi Gras to the shipping docks of the big cities. Tracks are 3 a course, and there are several courses to complete. Each track has their own incredible little attention to detail, and I'm still finding them as I play. In the mountain range areas, players can enjoy various trees, rock formations, tunnels, a giant corkscrew sequence that uses fantastic shadow elements, and more. The city highway stages have interactive elements like construction cones and storage containers to plow through, billboards showing off other EA titles, and other goodies. Folks who decide to go for the unlockable cars will find one of the funniest touches with the chicken truck. If slammed into, or the player smashes into a wall, chicken feathers come flying out of the truck and flutter to the ground. It's these little throwaway moments that help frame all the love and work that went into the overall experience. Having played the game on a CRT through S-Video and recorded the footage on a component-equipped PS3, use original hardware if you can. I don't know what the PS3's upscaler is doing, but the game looks so much better on original hardware. Trust me on that. The only true visual hiccups are a weird giant gradient choice in one of the stage skies and a peculiar, literally cut-out cloud in another. Sound options are fairly surprising. The game's overall music fare is a cross between country rock and hillbilly rock, but it's intentionally subdued, allowing for the announcer and sound effects to take center stage. The announcer acts as a sort of co-pilot rather than master of ceremonies, constantly commenting on the player's situation, as well as cracking jokes about the competition. While not directly connected to each other, a hilarious moment occurred when I was in 3rd place. The faceless voice chided, "What's running your car? A hamster on a wheel?" And as a car passed me, it followed up with, "Is his hamster more motivated than yours?" If one were to play through the game several times like I did, his quips will eventually become white noise along with the music, so it serves its purpose well. Where the sound department shines brighter than the sun are the power-up sound effects. Each of the power-ups is assigned their own comical tone, and they become ingrained in your brain. The big rumble is signaled by a boxing ring bell, and if the player isn't the one who picked it up, be afraid. When collided with an attacker, it will send the opponent barreling out of control, oftentimes straight up into the air. I've turned corners to see oncoming cars literally cartwheeling past me. Did I mention the collision sound for it is of a bowling pin being hit? It's so good. Graphics and sound are nothing without the gameplay to match, and this is where NASCAR Rumble obliterates anything it shares its genre with. Let's start with your main avatar, the race cars themselves. Rather than focus on individual skill factors, handling is based on the class, not so much the car. Stock cars are initially available, and as tracks are completed and gold medals are awarded, more class types emerge. The stock cars are fairly grippy in their tires, where the unlockable classic cars are more slick. The trucks have a more weighty feel to them, while the special car types do seem to vary styles. For example, the golf cart feels far more slippery than light than the massive RV, which is like driving a tub. Once drivers have their chariot, it's on to the courses and power-ups. Besides looking fantastic, the tracks also hide a variety of secret paths and shortcuts, oftentimes within each other. There are 3 main types of shortcuts. The short ones that I've dubbed nooks. These are the areas you quickly weave in and out of to avoid launched power-ups. Next are the standard shortcuts, which might allow you to cut through a corner or shave a few milliseconds off the timer. Finally are the mega cuts, the ones players will absolutely have to have knowledge of to survive the legendary challenges. These are lengthy, almost entire tracks in themselves that carve through a good portion of the course and require some agile moves to not mess up. What's nice is that, legends aside, you usually don't need to take the shortcuts to gain the upper hand. It's more about power-up management, and by the gods, they nailed it. If one were to revisit my Nicktoons Racing review, I consider that game's risk and reward system to be a high point. It's utter perfection here in NASCAR Rumble. I mean that in every way possible. Fans will also find shortcuts in the craziest of places, like the bushes under a rock formation revealing a nanosecond of time-saving shortcut hiding in plain sight. There are a total of 11 power-ups, 10 plus random, and not only do they offer multiple attack concepts, but they offer alternate ways out of them as well. Let's take the big one, Tornado. Casting this will send out quite literally a tornado that will pick up cars and spin them 360 degrees with the direction of the turn being alternated. If the player times their speed shift just right, they'll always land properly oriented without losing a beat. Every opponent can launch this if they have it, and I've had no less than 4 tornadoes at once on a screen at various times. One of the biggest problems with power-ups is that there's always one that stops you dead in your tracks. There are no blue shell types here in NASCAR Rumble. Your speed may be affected, you might be sent flying, or your steering column might be locked, but every single one of the power-ups has a way out and does not stop you. At worst, a way to minimize the affliction. This approach not only means that the pace of the game never stops, but allows players to build their own strategies in defending against and using power-ups. The location and respawning of the pickups are as good as they can be, and scaled properly based on the difficulty in play. If one ventures into the extreme power-up setting, be prepared for NASCAR Rumble to become a partial flying game. The tornadoes are coming, and they're coming often. Here's the more important part though, the one that separates the game from its contemporaries. Power-ups can be used in the shortcuts. That's right, if launched on the main track, they can be avoided, but if launched within a shortcut, well, good luck. Racers aren't even safe if they did use a shortcut. Many a time I or an opponent was leaving a shortcut only to be hit by the very power-up that we were originally dodging on the main track. It's calamity and hilarity and exhilaration all in one fell swoop. No one is safe and no one is ever having the upper hand. Something that I wasn't able to confirm before the review was the hint of an exploit system with the power-ups. I discovered that if I activated the big rumble right before the next power-up, I was always rewarded with a speed boost, turning my car into a 200 mph battering ram. Other times, if I had the grip tires and scored random, activating it right away usually either garnered more grip tires, or a tie between the gas can downgrade and the oil slick. All of this chaos is supported by one of the most robust option menus and reward systems ever seen on the PlayStation. The game's difficulty is separated from the power-up's respawn and location rate, which means the true overall difficulty can be fine-tuned. In between all the options are the game's Unlockable Suite. By placing first in every race and series, players will earn a gold trophy. Acquiring a gold trophy for each of the first 3 rookie courses and then across all the classes will unlock a cornucopia of content. Among the rewards are 3 hidden tracks, multiple classes, the ability to race against NASCAR legends, and more. But what truly brings the experience to its genius level are the golden wrenches. In a game where discovering shortcuts is key to winning, one would expect players to actually snoop around to find them. Well, that snooping will pay off handsomely with the 9 golden wrenches. Each one found will unlock a single car from the mystery class, including the previously mentioned chicken truck, RV, golf cart, and more. These wrenches are hidden in various alcoves and corners around 9 of the tracks. My personal favorite, the chicken truck, is actually found by busting through empty cages in a literal chicken house. Some of them are hiding in plain sight, and others you'll need to turn around. After well over 30 hours with the game, including completing it multiple times over in various difficulty levels for a 100% perfect save, NASCAR Rumble is a game that defies all logic. Aside from the visual oddities in the sky, the other small issues I had, in all retrospect, are nitpicky. So small in scope that I need not waste my breath speaking of them or even admitting to them in text. You will never experience the same race twice. Rumble's chaos is a 7-course meal of joy, hilarity, and fist pumping when your car cartwheels over the finish line. Its graphical prowess and subtle sound genius dance step with the wild sound effects and constant crashing effects. Shortcuts are woven through the stages in an almost uncannily perfect nature. All of that is wrapped around a player-focused reward system that 100% gives the player satisfaction in their accomplishments, perfectly teases the future unlockable content, and seduces even the most one-and-done gamers back to its higher difficulties. It is one of the only times I had to rely on the multi-camera replays as much as the actual footage to properly present everything the game truly is. In reviewing and scoring games, every game I play starts at the average 5 out of 10. Then, based on positive and negative experiences, the grade can move up or down the scale. The few issues that NASCAR Rumble has are mere splattered bug guts on its heavily sponsored grill. It is a masterclass in everything it touches, and acts as a monument to what games used to be. A complete package right out of the gate. No patches, no DLC, no microtransactions. Just you, the road, and a few incoming tornadoes to worry about. On Game-Rave's review scale, it is a legendary 10 out of 10. The care and thought put in this game is rare to find in modern AAA game worlds. You really shouldn't miss out. It truly is a lost electronic art. Take care.